We put the Bible as hard or soft copy. Now we're mirroring on its format.
Soft copy Bibles, I think they have a wider view to the Bible in a sense.
Soft copy or hard copy, the content remains the same.
The hard copy Bible is more bulky in a sense of carriage.
Which one is more preferable to attend the service with, hard or soft?
The elderly person in the Bible will stick to his hard copy.
I think it's based on the purpose for coming. So it's not really like a no, but it's just based on the purpose of which you are.
You find God in His words. The words in the soft copy are the same, except it has been tampered with, of course, by way of digitalization or whatever.
For a corporate service, worship experience, I will go with the fact that the hard copy Bible is active. You feel very close to it. That's the physical touch.
Connection comes from the heart.
The soft copy will have a way of helping you to identify the books of the Bible more easily compared to the hard one.
But there was a time there was insecurity issues in Lafia, and I was like, I can go to church, I'm going late, I need hard copy Bible. So that in case anything happens, I'll just show the police that you see I'm coming from church.
You need to answer it. Okay, please just be brief.
God never changes, and we have agreed that it is a matter of format and not content.
You can get 4 versions with less cost than getting 4 versions of hard copies. Yes, 4 by 1. It's not possible. But what I want to say generally is that it should be used side by side.
I can hold my Bible as an identity. So it's like a form of identity for me. I am a Christian and I am proud of what I believe in, and I go around with it.
Carrying the Bible doesn't make you a Christian.
Sure.
Mere carrying the Bible around, people see you with the Bible. That is not what makes you a Christian. It's your salvation that makes you a Christian.
Our devotion actually is not tied to the version or the format of the Bible that we carry.
You shouldn't be ashamed of the Bible. If you want to carry your Bible, carry your Bible. If it's a soft copy you prefer, carry the soft copy.
Faith on.
Good evening, viewers. My name is Joshua Euga, and this is Faith Unfiltered, live from ECWA Goodnews GRA Lafia. And this evening we are privileged to have our parents. Last week we were with them, and God has brought them again so we could finish what we have started. Dr. Matthew Ayuba Ayaka, you are most welcome, sir.
Good evening, our viewers.
Yes, thank you, sir. And Mrs. Grace Onomshi Ngbede, you are most welcome, ma.
Thank you very much, and good evening.
Yeah, and my dear sister, Peace, we've been doing this together, and we shall continue this evening together. So we appreciate your time with us. Please, you can always follow. You can share in your views about some of the issues that we will be raising here. And if need be, we can talk to you via our Facebook handle by the special grace of God. Last week, we discussed about young people, that's the teenagers, relationship between the teenagers and their parents. And the discussion, we couldn't finish it because it's actually a broad topic that we need to talk more about it. But today, to talk more about that, we have a topic that we will be looking at: managing the gap between parents and their teenagers. Managing the gap between parents and their teenager. In our little discussion last week, we've realized that sometimes parents create a very big gap between them and their teenage children at home, which sometimes results to so many dangers and other issues that we could talk about here. So by the special grace of God, we shall try our best and do justice to that by the special grace of God. But let me first ask our invited guest, do you also believe that in many homes, there's a gap between parents and their teenagers. Do you agree with the topic?
Yes, very well.
Sir, do you agree with that?
Yes, indeed.
All right. So what motivation do we, as parents, do we supposed to do in helping our young people not to go far away from us? What do you think we need to do to motivate them with? Ma, let me start with you.
One of the ways that we can, try to cover that gap or bring our teenagers close to us one of the ways is through communication.
Okay.
Communication is very important.
Yeah.
And, this communication I'm talking about is when these teenagers know that you are open, you can talk about any issue, and they know that you have confidence in them. They will be able to come back after every, encounter they have outside. They will still come back home and talk with you. There are so many. One of the questions we asked in our last meeting was that, what happened to the love we used to share with our children when they were babies?
Yeah.
Now they have become teenagers. They have become our quarreling partners.
Uh-oh.
They have become our rivals in the home.
Yeah.
What happened? And I would say that many a times we see them now that they are changing. There's a kind of change going on with the teenager. And you begin to exhibit one or two characters, and because of lack of understanding, it will now be a problem for the parent. The parent will now start using harsh words, harsh tones, thinking that the way at which they were managing these children, these teenagers when they were children, is still the same method that should be applied. So if there is proper communication, that's 1, 2. And I think we also emphasized last time that the parent must also know there's a place for knowledge.
Okay.
There's a place for knowledge.
Okay.
And if we know that this is my teenager and this teenager is growing to become an adult, we will know that there is need to keep them close to us so that they will not go astray. Then we'll be able to manage this gap that may be created as a result of their age.
All right, sir.
Yes, to add to what our sister have just mentioned, I still want to establish something as a recap of what we've said last week.
Okay.
We've established that teenage age is a transition from childhood to adulthood. And it comes with a lot of challenges. And one of the challenges that we've established was that they are very sensitive and they crave for love. And with that, if parents do not really understand their peculiarity, there would come a situation where when their expectation is not met, that gap will be inevitable. And for parents to really close that gap is for them to understudy the peculiarity of this stage. In that these children, you should be ahead of them in terms of working closely with them to be able to address their peculiarity. When it comes to love, they shouldn't be denied of. And again, they are so sensitive that they need your availability at all time.
Okay.
You don't create a situation where when they want your attention, you are not there for them.
Okay.
That will really be a problem.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me ask this question real quick. I've heard somewhere that a mother was keeping off from her daughter because the father was very close to his daughter or their daughter. Yes. In terms of giving her more attention, he loves her actually. It's coming from love, sincere love from a dad. And that makes the wife to be very jealous to the point that she was denying her very own daughter some privileges because she felt like her daughter wants to take her husband away from her. Ma, have you had such thing before? No. You've never had that?
No.
What about you, sir? Have you heard that before?
That cannot happen because every one of them occupy their
Their own
peculiar
space.
position in my life.
Oh. But I've heard of it before.
Well, I cannot really. I've heard about it, but I could not really say these are the family that have ever had that experience.
Oh, okay. Okay, so quick, I wanted us to address some of those issues because I've seen severally where fathers are more closer to their daughters, more especially if the daughter happens to be the only one. It's coming from genuine love, and sometimes if it's not properly managed, it will tear the family apart. So if you are a father and you have daughters or daughter, and you feel like you so much care for them, I think the love should be well interpreted, and don't create any suspicious reasons or anything that will cause your wife to think otherwise, or to think you are not giving her attention as you should, but you are giving that attention now to your daughter that she gave birth to. So, please, do you have? Okay, sir, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to address that kind of
Okay.
misconception.
Okay.
You know, we've been talking about information.
Yes, sir.
For a family that have raised a daughter to a teenage age, I believe there should be an understanding already that is existing between the husband and the wife. And when such situation comes, it should be that something there's a crack in the family, in the relationship between the husband and the wife. Or else there shouldn't be a competition.
Okay.
Because of course, whatever you are doing for the daughter, the mother should know. Because you must have shared it with her. It's a burden. And it's not everything that the father will be doing. The mother could be doing something too, where the father may not be capacitated to do it.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I feel that in marriage, it's the husband and wife that have come together to become one at the point of marriage. And if at that point they have come together to become one flesh, you will know that this journey will take the two of them along. So when parents, we begin to allow the love for a particular child to come in between, that child is like the passenger in that journey.
Okay.
At the point in life, that child will get off that journey.
Yeah, that's true.
And the child will leave the father and the mother.
Yeah.
So if all the love you have as the father has been poured on the daughter, or the love you have as a mother has been poured on the son, when they all leave, you'll be on your own.
So we should try our best and manage such emotions.
My brother here has said, everybody should occupy his peculiar position. Everybody should occupy his peculiar position. So everybody has his place. So no child should replace either the father or the mother, the love of that child should not replace any of this.
All right. Oh, thank you so much, Peace.
Okay, so I wanted to just add that it's actually a case of misplaced priority. You don't know where to show your love to that, or you don't know why you are supposed to, you don't know whether you're the father or you're the, I don't know. It's just not, it's very awkward. Well, I wanted to ask a question. Now, it's not just based on the teenager alone. Now, I want to talk about the father and the mother. They are workers. They're meant to provide for the family. So there's a possibility where stress will come into that cycle. And the children also go to school. They meet with people. And there's also a form of stress too in that case. So how do we balance it? Because sometimes some people manage stress by just keeping away. Some parents may be like that, or they even end up, if they don't keep away, they end up showing negative attitude towards a person, or just acting awkward. So in that sense, it can create gaps. So how would you manage that? What would you advise parents that, okay, are going through stress, long hours at work, maybe traffic, or the journey, life in general? How would they manage it with relation with their children, especially when they are being stressed so much? So that they don't give up, they don't miss out on the life and the experience and the learning process and also the teaching process of the teenage life.
It's all right. Of course, we as parents, let me say a working class parent, you have to really understand your schedules. You have to do a kind of analysis of your own schedules. Workload, more of workload analysis that involves both domestic and official engagement. So that when you do that, you also bring the responsibility of children into perspective. And when you do that, you will be able to align your responsibility aright. So that if one is overloaded, and of course, those workload analysis will go with days of the week. As working class, you know, not every day of the week you may be where you will be occupied. So you do that, and you share responsibility. For instance, my wife works within the town. My work is out at the outskirts. Sometimes she would be so occupied to pick children from school. And if I'm less engaged within that period, I have to rush down, pick them home, and take care of them. One other thing is that even within that work schedule, there are some nature of work, duty, at a particular time that will necessitate your presence. You can't avoid it. You share with the other partner, your wife, or your wife will share with you. Today, let me give a practical example. My wife had a meeting, and I had a meeting too. My meeting came up earlier. So after the meeting, I had to rush down to cater for the need of the children. And when she finished her own, she joined us at home. So those are some of the things. When you don't do proper workload analysis, one will be overstretched, while the other will be waiting, expecting that person that was already overstretched should take that responsibility again, which is very bad. That a parent, there is no role that is solely for the mother or the father.
Okay.
They are all together. Thank you.
Okay, just to add more to what my brother has said, you know, the stress and stress management, it's real. Stress is real, and how to manage stress has to be something we consciously undertake to avoid the problem of, creating gaps. Because when I'm stressed as the wife, I go back home, I may decide to take some time off and just withdraw from everybody,
Okay.
which include my own children.
Wow.
And that is very terrible on the family relationship. Then in trying to discover or find out what are the ways we can help to reduce stress, we'll have to, as he has said, we have to allocate responsibilities. Let it not just be a one-man's affair. It's just the mother that does this, that does that, that cares for this one, she picks the children. No, it's not just one person's responsibility. So it has to be shared in such a way that as much as you are available, you'll be able to take up that responsibility and execute. So that it will, at the end of the day, if we don't do that, it will create a negative outpour of stress. We'll begin to shout on the children. And as we shout on them, they will begin to withdraw from us. And they'll begin to do their things themselves. They'll begin to take action themselves. And as that gap is being created, you are losing it. Because there are things you need to know, happenings that you need daily reports about, but that gap has been created. Sometimes these children will go as far as going into some attitude or character display that you will not even know. I just heard a story of a child too, one of the sisters I know, that he has gotten himself into a teenager, into the use of drugs, and they didn't even know. But they just knew that he, started withdrawing from the family, and the next thing, he has gone into this. So to avoid such things, we must really look for how to address stress through stress management techniques. Then we will now be able to sit down and say, okay, how are we going to put this into relation to our own family problems or family's challenges, and so that it will not affect our children negatively.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm sorry, please, before you probably ask your last question, because of time, how do we handle a teenager who is going out of the way? I wanted to say a wayward teenager, but let me be soft. Maybe a young person who is going out of the way. Can you advise parents on how to deal with such issue? Yeah, Ma, you can talk since. Okay.
Well, I think what you meant by waywardness could be stubbornness.
Yes, just as she said, she gave us an example of a
stubbornness.
child who is now taking so many things now.
Yes, the first thing that, as a parent, is to show that child love.
Okay.
And you will not be able to do it if you are not yourself received help from God. Because if you are already emotionally distressed, you will not be able to reach out to that child. Before you know it, because we were discussing something with my sister, before this program started. Sometimes, for you to be able to really help that child, you should think beyond him. See that he has lost his balance. Something has gone wrong with him. And so, prayerfully, you reach out to him with love.
Okay.
And try to break into his heart. Unless you are able to break into his heart and woo him to yourself, so that you will now engage him in discussion. And by that, you begin to speak to him, give him necessary information that will be of help to him. Talk about salvation, talk about risk of that kind of behavior, and let him know that there is no any situation, because he might have entered into that character lifestyle because of a problem. And the Lord, there is nothing impossible with God. If he understands that God is responsible to every of our problem, and he is ready to solve it at any moment, will make those problems available to him.
Thank you so much, sir. Ma?
You know, he talked about love. And truly, it's very difficult to just think about on our own loving a child that is going out of the way. And he said, except God helps you, to be able to show that child unconditional love. That is the God kind of love. And you know, that God kind of love cannot just come upon a natural man, except that man is helped by God. For you to be able to love a child in the midst of the rubbish the child is doing. Now, it's you loving that child. It's not that you are accepting the bad that the child is committing.
Okay.
But you see, as he said, beyond what that child is doing, knowing that he has a future and a hope. So that is what you are trying to bring to bear in the life of that child. Yes, there is a mistake, but keep this aside. There is something I am looking for, deeper, greater than what this thing is producing out of your life. Then you will now go also extensively into the place of prayer. You know, trying to bring that child back. We're just saying, as he said, the devil does not rest. We are the ones that pray small and say, children are behaving, then we'll go and rest. But the devil will not rest. As much as he's targeting that child, he keeps on moving until he achieves his aim. So you keep praying for that child, praying and showing that child love. Then you fill the child with knowledge. Let the child know the things he is doing, the dangers of what he's doing, and where it will take him. If possible, give the child practical examples of people who have passed through that road. When the child sees that, this person has passed through this road, and this is where he has ended, with the help of God, the child will be able to, come back, reason, like the prodigal son reasoned all by himself.
Yeah,
in fact, nobody was there to reason with him.
Yeah.
And he will come back home.
Thank you, ma'am. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to ask this question. We just concluded or about to finish the holiday season. And we also notice, I don't know about other people, but most parents don't have that luxury of time to spend with the children or with the teenagers during the holiday season. So what would you advise? Is it just, most of the times it's just maybe Christmas, and Christmas is just with cooking, cleaning, going for Christmas carol, and they're just filled with activities. What would you advise that parents should do to create that time, especially during the holidays when they're not busy with their books, to get that closeness, to fill that gap that is there within those children, so that there will be no room for the enemy to come in and cause havoc? Because it's when you're not there, that's when the enemy will come in. So how can we fill those gaps, especially when the children are available to us, maybe during the holidays?
There are ways as a family we can decide. We have to be, let me start by saying we have to be intentional about filling gaps.
Okay.
It has to be with intentionality.
Okay.
If we know the havoc that the enemy is creating, We must know that we have something to do to avoid that. For me, I feel we can just create, like in the days of the week, just one weekend, Saturdays, Sundays, we make ourselves available
Okay.
to chat with the children. Sometimes it could just be, we don't have the luxury of saying maybe a movie time or something. We don't have that. But at least we sit down over the news or something. We'll call them. There was a day my husband came into the sitting room and just found that nobody was there. He went into the room calling everybody into the living room that we should all come and sit down here so that we will talk.
Yeah.
Yes, so we have to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Then another way from us that what we do, we try to, once in a year, like take our children out. We go for family retreats. We go along with the children.
Okay.
And we allow them also to, have time with other children. And there, we also bond as a family.
I love that
Have
part.
some time to bond with them. So that, sometimes they'll feel that you are just being one, rigid father, rigid mother. But when they see you in the playful part of who you are,
Yeah.
they will begin to open up and, talk with you and gist with you. It may just be game. There are times that they bring this snake and ladder or Monopoly because we have them. They will come and bring it and keep in the house and say you should play with them. I used to tell them that it will take me years to even learn whatever they are doing. But they'll say, keep playing. We'll be, just creating that small moment, those small moments with the children helps them to know that you are coming down to their level, to bond with them. So I think it's very necessary that we are intentional about closing the gap. It could just be family discussion time. You just sit down, throw a question to this person, throw a question to this person.
Yeah.
My children love listening to how daddy met mommy. They love that part of the story.
Wow.
So anytime they sit down, they will now bring up issues to bring about discussion. So let's as they ask us questions, let's use that opportunity to create moments of bonding. And by that, they will know that we love them so much. And if that love is found in the family, I don't think they will seek for it outside.
Yeah, I love that. Sir?
Yes, to add to what my sister just contributed. Of course, during this period of break, oftentimes we leave them at home. And you come back, sometimes you are already stressed up. But just as you mentioned, we have to be deliberate. Having understood the peculiarity of their lives, they need us more than ever, and they need our availability. You could be at home with them, but you are not yet available.
Not even present in your,
Yeah,
in
it's
your
true.
mind.
So you need to engage them. Just as our sister mentioned, my children, or our children, they love this time of family altar.
Okay.
Because that is the time they can vent out their displeasure about our life, our character. they can say anything,
Wow.
and they can accuse us.
Oh my God.
It's a free period that nobody can be held responsible.
Everyone should say what.
Yes. Say what you feel about me. Say what you feel about one another. Your sister, your brother, every one of us. And I equally say to them, this is my displeasure. These are the areas that I have not been so pleasant about your character, this and that. And it's a moment that we all share, we laugh. And I've never seen any time of such gathering that we ended in annoyance, where all of us will be fulfilled. So it's a very good moment of interaction. And they will always look forward to such opportunity. So as the holiday is winding up, before they resume to school, incidentally, almost all of them now, they are not in boarding. So we see each other every day. So by then, we always find time to engage with one another.
Thank you, sir. Please, do you have any comment on the discussion we are having today? You know, it's not too long that you left teenage life. Can you be able to share one or two things in 2 minutes as we round up this discussion, because time is not really with us?
Okay, thank you very much. I would say that the teenage life is a life of testing and being tested.
Wow.
You have things you want to try out or you've been told about and you are being encouraged to try it out. And then you also have, let's say, commandments that your parents have told you not to do and to do.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, should I do this? People are doing this. I was told not to do this. I want to do this. So it's a time of testing and being tested.
Wow.
But also it's a time of building. There's a hymn that has always been sung by the boys' brigade sometimes. It be encouraged my boy to say no or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's more like an encouragement
It's a
for
hymn
us.
1151.
Okay, you know it's by heart. That's
Yes.
nice. So I want us to. Yes, there are times of being tested. It's a time of growing. It's a time of being tested. It's a time of testing things, but also know that okay, there's somebody that is there to guide you. There's a gap, yes, but there's also a person to fill the gap, which are your parents and your guardians.
Yeah.
And the people in the church, especially people that you've seen their attitude as trustworthy. Of course, thank God the young people have this, they know how to test things to know whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
So we should use that light that you have and assess the beauty that comes with life. The gap can be filled. Your parents may not always be there. They may not really have your time, but you can actually ask them to give you that time.
Exactly.
You can create it for yourself. So don't just wait for them. And parents too, don't just wait for your child to create it. You too, go ahead and create the time, because time is passing. Time is passing, yes.
Okay.
And they are growing. So enjoy the time while it lasts.
All right, thank you so much. Let me just add these few words. I so much believe that some parents are not actually doing well, so their young people lost confidence on them because they saw them doing so many things that are unspeakable. So sometimes some of these young people, they don't even trust you to share their life with. But I feel as a parent, if God gave you some of this responsibility, you should know that you need to do more, because the Bible says he that much is given, much is also expected from him. So young people out there who are listening, I also have this to say about you. You have to have someone that you can trust to talk to. But for me, I will always say your parents are the first people that you can talk to at any given time. But in a situation where your parents, you lost confidence on them, just like I have said, because there are cases like that, we can't deny the fact that some people gave birth to children and they failed to realize the intensiveness of that responsibility, and they are doing what they feel like doing without minding whether these young people are watching their back. If you find yourself in such home, that is why you are a Christian. Have someone within the church that you can trust. Talk to someone. Don't destroy your future. Whatever is happening around your life now, you should know that a lot of people have passed through it and you will overcome it. Many of us, we are teenagers, and now God has given us opportunity to be parents, and you too will. So you have to take care of yourself and manage yourself very well in this time of trial. Just like P says, your time now is a time of trying many things. There are things that you don't have to try them. That's how devil will deceive you, to make you feel whether you are a man or you are not, or you are a woman. You are already one. You don't have to do anything to prove to anyone that you belong to anything. I pray that God will help our young people. I also pray that God will help parents out there to keep to duty, to keep to responsibility, so that God will be happy with us and we will raise godly children for His kingdom.
Amen.
Thank you so much. I know we don't have any burning issue to say. If you have any burning thing to say, you don't? Just 1 minute.
Praise the Lord.
Yes.
Actually, I intended to bring this. For every family, there should be values.
Okay, values.
That they are upholding.
Okay.
So that every member of the household should be able to share in these values.
Okay.
That makes their identity.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. You are done, sir?
Yes, of course, as a child of God, the values cannot be outside the Bible.
Outside the Bible. Thank you so much, ma. Just one word.
I want to encourage our young people to please begin to trust again.
Okay.
In as much as many of we the adults have made them not to trust us, they should give us another opportunity.
Wow.
Don't run away.
It's a powerful one.
Yes.
It's a powerful one, and I hope you will pick it. Like I said earlier, we are privileged to have Dr. Matthew Ayaka Ayuba. Thank you so much for your time with us, and Mrs. Grace Mbedi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience and many other things. May the Lord bless you and keep you for us. And
Amen.
we hope to have you again if the Lord so wishes. But for now, we thank you so much for all that you have done. Peace.
Thank you very much for coming. Really enjoyed this session with you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure.
And this is Faith Unfiltered. I remain Joshua Ewuga. Thank you for your time. See you next week. God bless you.
When we put the Bible as hard or soft copy, now we're mirroring on its format.
Soft copy Bibles, I think they have a wider view to the Bible in a sense.
Soft copy or hard copy, the content remains the same.
The hard copy Bible is more bulky in a sense of carriage.
Which one is more preferable to attend a service with, hard or soft?
The elderly person in the Bible will stick to his hard copy.
I think it's based on the purpose for family. So it's not really like a no, but it's just based on the purpose of which you are using it.
You find God in His words. The words in the soft copy are the same, except it has been tampered with, of course, by way of digitalization or whatever.
For a corporate service, worship experience, I will go with the fact that the hard copy Bible is active. You feel very close to it. That's the physical touch.
Connection comes from the heart.
The soft copy have a way of helping you to identify the books of the Bible more easily compared to the hard one.
But there was a time there was insecurity issues in Lafia, and I was like, I don't to church, I'm going late. I need hard copy Bible. So that in case anything happens, I'll just show the police that you see I'm coming from church.
You need to answer it. Okay, please just be brief.
God never changes, and we have agreed that it is a matter of format and not content.
You can get 4 versions with less cost than getting 4 versions of hard copies. Yes, 4 Bible, and it's not possible. But what I want to say generally is that it should be used side by side.
I can hold my Bible as an identity. So it's like a form of identity for me. I am a Christian and I am proud of what I believe in, and I go around with it.
Carrying the Bible doesn't make you a Christian.
Sure.
Mere carrying the Bible around, people see you with the Bible. That is not what makes you a Christian. It's your salvation that makes you a Christian.
Our devotion actually is not tied to the version or the format of the Bible that we carry.
You shouldn't be ashamed of the Bible. If you want to carry your Bible, carry your Bible. If it's a soft copy you prefer, carry the soft copy.
Faith Unfiltered.